It's 1 a.m. on November 1st, 1943. In the middle of a raging storm in the North Atlantic, the USS Boris searches for a German U-boat. Contact 8,000 yards bearing 170. The radar lights up with a blip. At the helm stands 30-year-old Lieutenant Charles Harris Hutchins, commanding the destroyer. Without hesitation, he gives the order to pursue at maximum speed. Come to 170. Flank speed! The Boris surges ahead, slicing through 15-foot-high waves. Roughly 5 nautical miles away, U-405, a Type 7C U-boat commanded by Korvettenkapitan Rolf Heinrich Hauptmann, lies surfaced. Under the cover of night, it's recharging its batteries when, deep inside, the hydrophone operator catches a faint sound, the unmistakable rhythm of propellers cutting through water. High-speed vessel, bearing 90. Hydrophone operator reports high-speed ship bearing 90. Hauptmann immediately realizes. No friendly ships should be in this sector. It must be an American destroyer. Prepare to dive. All crew to battle stations. Alarms echo through the steel hull as 45 men rush to their posts, sealing hatches and preparing to dive. Back on the Boris, Hutchins peers into the blackness, searching for any sign of his quarry. He can't see a thing, but the radar operator keeps feeding him updates. Hutchins adjusts course accordingly. Steady as she goes. Range 2,000, bearing 265. Then suddenly, silence. Contact lost, sir. A chill runs down Hutchins' spine. The U-boat has gone under. That can mean only one thing. The Germans know they've been spotted. Now it's a deadly game of cat and mouse. Half speed. Any sonar returns? With the submarine submerged, sonar is their only hope. A faint echo returns. Sonar contact, 2,000 yards, bearing 170. Turn 1 to 70, Hutchins commands. Below the waves, the hydrophone operator aboard U-405 listens intensely. He can sense the destroyer's position, but not precisely enough for a counterattack. The sound of the Boris propellers grows louder, punctuated by regular sonar pings. They're getting close, Captain. Turn to port. Hauptmann barks. Meanwhile, aboard the Boris, the sonar operator calls out, 600 yards. Ready port launchers for depth charges. The crew springs into action, metal racks clattering as they load the charges. Then the sonar trace suddenly disappears. Contact lost again, sir. The submarine has slipped directly beneath their hull. 500 yards. Now to starboard, closing fast. Hard to starboard! Hutchins shouts, spinning the destroyer's stern around to line up the attack. 300 yards. Fire! The depth charges launch with a heavy thud, arcing into the air and plunging into the sea right near U-405's bow. Moments later, a thunderous explosion reverberates underwater. The shockwave slams into the submarine's nose. Flooding in the bow, Captain. Inside the U-boat, seawater pours in. At that depth, the pressure makes repairs impossible. Hauptmann realizes he has no choice left. Surface! Man the guns! The order echoes through the U-boat. Meanwhile, the USS Boris sails past the site of the explosion. The water still churns violently when, suddenly, the U-405 bursts from beneath the waves like a beast reborn. It surfaced off our stern. Turn on the searchlights. Get illumination on target. Blinding beams cut through the darkness, and the U-boat's dark shape gleams in the light. The battle ignites instantly. Dozens of German sailors spill out of the hatches, racing to their 20mm cannons, which roar to life with sharp bursts. Streams of tracers arc across the water and hammer into the Boris' hull, tearing into her superstructure and forcing American sailors to duck behind cover. On the U-405, drenched in spray and wind, the German crew fights furiously under the glare of Boris' searchlight. But they know the small-caliber guns won't be enough. Men scramble to ready their powerful 88mm deck gun, their only real chance. Hutchins spots the movement and reacts instantly. All guns local control, pointer fire. The destroyer's weapons erupt. The first rounds overshoot, sending geysers of seawater exploding behind the submarine. Then the 20mm cannons find their mark. Shells rip through the U-boat's bow, shredding the gunners and wrecking the deck gun team. Heavy casualties on deck. Reinforce the guns. Keep firing. More men rush forward, but they're cut down almost as quickly as they appear. Bodies tumble into the sea amid the chaos. A few desperate sailors reach the 88 limiters, but as they look through the sights, they find themselves staring straight down the barrels of Bory's 4-inch main guns. Too late. A barrage slams into the U-boat's forecastle, engulfing it in fire and smoke. When the haze clears, the 81 Macnaghten gun and its crew are gone. Still, the Bory circles wide, hammering the submarine with relentless fire. But Hutchins knows the truth. Hitting the conning tower won't finish it. He needs a kill shot. Ram it, ram it. He shouts again. The helmsman swings the destroyer toward the U-boat as Hutchins warns his men. Stand by for a ram. Brace for impact. The crew grips whatever they can as the destroyer surges ahead at 27 knots. With a thunderous crash, the Bory slams into the side of U-405. Men fire pistols, submachine guns, and rifles. Anything they can find. Others hurl flare guns, shell casings, even misfired rounds and kitchen knives. It's a brutal close-quarters brawl. The Germans fight with ferocity, but the Americans hold the high ground. The destroyer's deck offers protection. The U-boat's does not. One by one, the remaining defenders fall. Amazingly, U-405 is still afloat, though barely holding together. Her guns are gone. Her crew shattered, but she still has torpedoes. Full reverse. Hard to port. Hopman orders. The damaged submarine strains to pull free from Bory's hull. Slowly, she begins to slide out from under the destroyer. But the Americans are in trouble too. Down in the flooded compartments, the engineering crew fights to keep the turbines alive. Water pours in faster than they can bail, but Lucas and his men refuse to stop. The struggle for survival continues below deck. The USS Bory pushes forward, its hull now heavy with hundreds of tons of seawater flooding the lower decks. Despite the damage, her gunners keep firing, trying desperately to deliver a final, decisive hit. Prepare torpedoes! One of Bory's triple torpedo mounts comes alive, swiveling toward the enemy. Fire! A torpedo shoots into the dark sea, cutting a white trail through the waves. But it misses. Aboard the U-405, Hopman is in dire straits. His ship is battered, and only 15 of his original 45-man crew are still alive. He orders a desperate counterattack. Come about! Ready the torpedoes! From the Bory, the Americans watch the submarine turning, preparing for one last strike. But Hutchins already has a plan. Kill the searchlight. The bright beam that had guided their gunners all night flickers out. Darkness swallows the scene. On the U-boat, the sudden blackout catches Hopman off guard. He sees the light go out and seizes what seems like their only chance. This is it. Abort torpedo attack. Turn starboard. But what Hopman doesn't know is that Bory's radar never lost track of them. Hutchins was waiting for this exact moment. Lights on! The searchlight blazes back to life, revealing U-405 directly ahead, barely a few hundred yards away. Ram it! Without hesitation, the helmsman turns hard toward the target. On U-405, Hopman spots the oncoming destroyer and orders evasive maneuvers. Hard to port. Avoid the collision. The submarine makes a quick turn, trying to slip past Bory's starboard side, but Hutchins refuses to let it escape. Hard to starboard. The ship groans and shudders as it twists through the storm, bringing her stern around to line up the depth charges. Fire depth charges. The canisters launch in quick succession, splashing perfectly around the U-boat. Moments later, the sea erupts. Massive explosions rock the water. The U-405 is lifted and thrown by the blasts. Her hull is torn apart, mortally wounded, then silence. Only the wind and waves remain. Suddenly, red flares streak into the night sky. The Germans are signaling surrender. 15 exhausted survivors, along with their captain, climb from the wreck and drift into the open sea on life rafts. The USS Bory edges closer, her crew trying to help despite the raging waves. But then a lookout shouts, "Flare astern! Torpedo in the water!" Another submarine seems to be attacking. Hutchins reacts instantly. Turn the stern to the torpedo. Show narrow profile. The maneuver saves the ship from a direct hit, but it drives Bory straight toward the German life rafts. With no choice, the Americans are forced to abandon the survivors to the storm. Their rescue never came. All 15 men of U-405 were lost to the Atlantic that night. Though victorious, USS Bory is fatally damaged. The flooding below decks can't be stopped. Chief Engineer Kenneth Miles. Lucas and his team keep the engines running, diving underwater inside the ship to reach valves and controls. Eventually, the order comes: abandon ship, one by one. The crew climbs topside and escapes into the freezing sea. When rescue ships finally arrive, 27 of Bory's 122 men have perished. But both Lieutenant Charles Harris Hutchins and Kenneth Miles Lucas survive. For his extraordinary courage that night, Hutchins is later awarded the Navy Cross. The Battle of USS Bory and U-405 becomes one of the most remarkable naval duels of the Atlantic War, a fight between courage, chaos, and the unforgiving sea.